Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have audio? Yes, we do. Great. Thank you. This is Marilyn, and it's the noontime edition of Welcome to My World on Monday, December 14th. This morning, we've had lots of things. We've had dry paint, and we've had real fast buses. So I'll take a couple of minutes to remind everybody, that if you are trading Nadex crude oil, you need to be on the February contract. If you are trading futures crude oil, the volume is still in the January contract. It will remain so, I think, through tomorrow, but it's pretty close to 4-to-1 in terms of contracts being traded. When we trade futures, we want to go where the money is. And so when these contracts are rolled, the contract with the volume in it is significant. The January contract will continue to trade for another 7 days, which means it'll stop trading, I think, on Sunday, which is ridiculous. It'll stop trading by Thursday or Friday of this week. But we're not going to trade it into the very end, because as the volume starts the shift, this is just kind of, you just kind of have to think about what makes sense. The huge amount of contracts that are in the January crude oil contract will start to sell the January in order to buy the February. So what we're going to do is wait until we see the volume coming into that February contract, and then we will follow suit. Nadex is a different animal, so keep that in mind. It's two different things. I see Larry is in here. Yes, Larry. I'm sure he's been dancing on the table all morning because the VIX has been over 25. It was even up to 26, which is just, the bears love the VIX to be high. So we have had crude oil after it sold off. It got a whole lot happier. And let's see, what time was that? That was about 8 o'clock this morning, 9 o'clock. It started to get very happy. What happens at 9 o'clock with crude oil? Open outcry. The pit is open. But crude oil trades 24 hours a day. What we're doing is trading the Globex, which is electronic. It's electronically traded through the CME. So let's see. The most wonderful trade of the morning that I saw was in bonds. Bonds had a real big sell-off, and that was a very nice trade. The dollar went down. There's a lot of people in here that trade the Euro-US pair, and you should have had a very nice trade on that this morning. So we'll just see what the afternoon brings. There's not a lot of economic news anywhere, and we'll have to see. Yes, Larry is absolutely right. The 48-hour Yellen Fest is, the fun is about to begin. She's supposed to do what she's going to do, whether it's up and down or what she's going to do. But there's one camp that says that she will raise the interest rates because she's been talking about it. She's been talking about that forever. And then there's another camp that says she's been looking for every excuse on the planet not to, and she's used up about every excuse she can find, but now she might be able to blame this on China, because the Chinese economy is not doing so well. But yeah, Larry has the exact wording here. There's a definite possibility of a confirmed maybe. So we'll just have to see what happens when it happens. The best thing is to follow your apex indicators and trade what you see. Do not get off in this land of all the talking heads. The talking heads get paid to do talking. They do not get paid to be right. So anytime you're listening to them, keep that real firmly in mind. It all may be very interesting and this and that and the next thing, but do not buy into that, because I can promise you, you will get burned. Now, somebody asked me this morning, I've had a couple of questions. Somebody had a question about this trade on, or the possibility of this trade back here on crude oil. And it was a really good question. It was right up here. This E formed right here. They had followed the mountain up. Good job. The E formed up here, got this funny thing where it looked like it might back off right here with the deviation. So is this a good spot to take the E up? And my answer to that is not really. There's a 1 bar difference between the P and the E, so that is that's an indication that it might be real close and bunchy. Bunchy apexes are just, as far as I'm concerned, they're a signal that's flashing neon light that says stay away, stay away, stay away. We had that over here with these E's, and we had that over here with these E's. And notice a whole bunch of bunchy little red apexes, and boom, it went up. A whole bunch of bunchy little red apexes, and boom, it went up. So there's no confirmation on a trend change until you have that second fully formed apex with the second E. But trying to take a long right here off of this, you've had a big run, and I just lost power, I think. Am I still on here? Am I still, do we have, yep, I'm still on. I got battery backup. I don't know how this all works, but I don't know if that was an on-off or what. But if I disappear, that's where I went. No power. Anyway, when you've had a nice big run like this on crude oil, I don't know about other markets, but I do know crude oil. When you've had a nice big run like that, and you have come right up here, look at the major street traffic in here. You've got the high of the day, the red ice, the settlement, the mid ice. You're nearing the top of the range channel. You've got a couple of magnets not too far apart right here at 80 and 90. I wouldn't be trying to jump the gun right here. Just take the ticks you made in the first place, be happy, and sit back and wait. Well, what happened then? You got these bunchy red apexes again. This is where that 6-tick chart comes into. It is so handy, because sometimes you can get some clarity with some stuff to trade in here. I use it, but I took it off the camera because it's too takes up too much space. But anyway, pay attention to these big streets here, because they're, the bus driver knows where those streets are. And this was test once, twice, and the third time was the charm. It went on up, and now we're up to the green ice. So we'll see. Crude oil's getting much happier all of a sudden. I have noticed that we've got people at all levels in here, and literally we've got people who have never traded before. This is all completely new to them, to people that have been floor traders at some of the exchanges. So there's a tremendous amount of experience in here. If you are new and trying to figure this out, pick a strategy. Do not be trying to learn them all at once. Get one perfected. What I have noticed today, and this is all new to me, so I've just been amazed, but I put this swing, the swing high, swing low dots. They're in the apex indicators. They are a generic. You have to go down here far, far away to swing, right here, and you might want to change the colors or whatever. But if you have this I-zone chart and you have, John did a webinar on this, and this is, I have been watching several markets and trying to incorporate this into my trading, and it has been amazing today. But when you get a breakout of this, John says 10 ticks, but you take the entry, I believe it's 3 ticks above this swing, and take profit at 10 ticks, and it just does it over and over. Now you have to wait. You have to be patient. Here, why wouldn't you take this down if you were doing that? Because I never broke here. You have to wait. It's YM has been very, very good about that. And with a little more experience, you can probably get more than your 10 ticks. But if you do 10 ticks over and over and over, that's $100, $100, $100. Practice that in demo or sim or whatever it is until you're pretty confident before you try to do that with, or any other trades with live money. But that to me is so easy. Then you can learn all this other stuff later. But at least a newbie, and you've been doing them and you've got 5 out of 5, simple and easy. Yeah, Wayne, you are the man. That is, you hit the nail on the head. You have discovered how to make some money while you learn a lot more sophisticated stuff. But my goodness, is that ever valuable? This just does it over and over and over. 5 for 5. Great job. Absolutely great job. Somebody else asked me this morning, and it's easier to do it in here. Yes, your new best friend. Somebody asked me what's the best way to learn how to get the big picture in the morning, how to assess. These markets are all interrelated. They have a very symbiotic relationship. So if you are trading the indices, my suggestion, if you see my little 30-minute crude oil chart up here, it doesn't have to be any bigger than this, just silly little chart, has absolutely nothing on it except the deviation levels and the high and low. That's it. That's all you need. And I don't even think I have that. Yeah, I do. I have the high and low of the day. That's right. And the deviation level. 30 minutes, plain Jane, but it put all 4 of the indices in a little row, or you can make them a little row down, however, whatever accommodates your monitor. And if you put them in a certain order so you know instantly which one is which, just by the order, what you are looking for is all of them to play well together. And if one is not playing well with its friends, you better stop and figure out why. Because they should, one will be stronger, one will be a little less so. Most days in a volatile market, the TF will lead, but that's not always the case. But if you've got three of them going up and one's going down, there is a problem in River City. So that's an alert kind of thing to your mind. If you try to put up too many at once, I believe that you probably get yourself overwhelmed and you're paying way too much attention to that and not enough attention to your trades. But if you can manage to do that and then add on, for example, bonds. And somebody asked me about bonds. I'm talking about the 30-year long bond. It's in your, you can put it in your instrument list. It will trade opposite. So if you look at everything and you've got your four indices lined up and say bonds on the bottom, and the indices are all going up and bonds is going down, everything is just wonderful in trading land. And you kind of keep an eye on that. I have another little tiny chart, same size, silly little chart. I think it's a year, 1 day, whatever it is. Doesn't really matter. And I don't have candles, too much information. I don't care. But it's the VIX, and I have mine as a line. And all I'm looking for is that number. And I just check that 2 or 3 times a day. And if the market keeps going down and down and down, I'm going to glance over there to see if the VIX is going up and up and up, because that's what it's supposed to do. So if you start there, then you can start to add on other things. And one of these days, I'll try to do a post about the correlation between some of these markets and how you can use it to get your day set up. Because you don't want to come in with a trading plan of, oh, yes, I'm going to trade this north. And you've got red apexes everywhere and red candles everywhere. That's not going to work out well for you. So anyway, I just cannot tell you how much this swing. What I think would be very helpful, and hopefully it won't take too much, is maybe we can sweet talk the programmers into giving us an alert on here. If you have the MVP has an audible on it, but sometimes it comes in a little bit at a little bit different time, but you can play with that. How do you change the colors on the dots? You go in here to, oh, I don't have it on that chart, sorry. You go in here to indicators. And right here is swing. This is it, because I added it. It's already on my, and I click, and right here where it says plots, you have to open these up. Now, I don't care if mine are green or red. Excuse me. I don't care if mine are green or red. I don't care if it says up or down, because I may not be the brightest light in the chandelier, but I can promise you I can tell the difference between these candles going up and going down. I don't need these dots to tell me. So I just made mine blue. They're blue, plain Jane blue. That's it. But if you want that to hold on your other charts, once you've put that on there, then right-click in this band, set for default for swing, and it'll stay. You don't have to do it every single time. You just have to add the, let me close that. You just have to add. And I think that's it. If I got all the questions, I'll be back at 2:30 And if you have other questions, especially the new people that want some little thing, just let me know about 2:30 and I'll see if we can go over it. Anyway, this has been my view from my world in Apex land, brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll see you about 2:30. Thanks.